All right, the Ayatollah is dead. They installed a new supreme leader. President Pezeshkian is in power. Now he's going to be heading over the diplomatic relations with the U.S. and Israel. But if you think about it, why are they doing it now? I mean, he just said that he is ready to talk. He wants to talk right now. Why didn't you talk before? Why all of a sudden? Because you guys got attacked and your country is in shambles and your country is in ruins and your country has a terrible economy, almost non-existent, and your country has one of the highest joblessness rates in the entire world. You know, so there is a place where Iran can be blamed for this because they didn't choose diplomacy instantly, you know. And you got to think about it. The world's largest superpower is offering diplomacy to you. If you don't take it, and knowing Trump's reputation, what happened just a few months back in June when, you know, your nuclear sites were all bombed, do you really not think that he is going to keep his word and he's going to actually do what he says? Just think about that for a second. He has that reputation. When he says something, he kind of gets it done. He does it. But also we have to take a look at how is this going to affect us, Americans, people living in the States. Is it going to affect us dramatically? I don't think so. Not instantly, at least. You know, everybody talks about the Strait of Hormuz and how 20% of world oil flows through there, and how, you know, 25% of liquefied natural gas flows through there because Iran has, you know, the second largest reserve in the world, you know, second to Russia with liquefied natural gas. I think it's about 15, 16, 17%. And 80% of that oil and 80% of LNG, liquefied natural gas, it goes to Asian countries. It goes to India. It goes to China. You know, China is the one who's going to suffer the most, mostly. Or not only China, but China, India, Japan, South Korea. You know, those countries, because 80% of that oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz goes to those Asian countries. Also, you have to take into fact that not much goes to the U.S. Very little goes to the U.S. and Europeans. I was reading about it today early that it said that only about 10% of oil that flows through the Strait of Hormuz goes to the United States, maybe even less than that. And that comes from Saudi Arabia and Iraq, you know. And, well, Iraq, we brought democracy there, didn't we? We brought democracy to Libya. We brought democracy to Tunisia. Now we want to bring democracy to the Iranians. But I want to straight out a fact that, you know, not a lot of people know. 90% of the Iranian people are against this regime. 90%. That's a lot of people. 92 million people live in Iran. So 90%, that's 80 plus million people that are against this Iranian regime. So there's only very little of the population in Iran that's okay with the Ayatollah's regime. I mean, he's dead already. He expired. Plus 40 plus people next to him, the top military and political powers that were next to the Ayatollah. But I also I want to understand, how is this America first? Is this really America first? You know, I mean, think about that for a second. We're going to get hit with higher gas prices because, you know, the global market is going to increase, you know, per barrel because so much oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. If, again, it is blocked, it hasn't been yet. They've been threatening that's exactly what they're going to do because that's a political weapon. You know, they're hoping that if they do that, the U.S. is going to stop. They're going to come to the negotiating table and so on and so forth. And they don't want the entire Gulf region to be destabilized, you know, for the Gulf countries to fight against each other, for the Gulf countries to turn, you know, against one another and so on and so forth. So that's my question. How is this America first? If it only hurts us and there's no benefit, how is this America first? Can somebody explain this to me? Can somebody make me understand? Because I don't see too much benefit besides what Trump says, that, you know, Iran is this tyrannical government and they're destabilizing the world with whatever they're doing. Iran hasn't attacked anybody in the past 100 years. Like, Iran had one full-scale war, and that was with Iraq, and because Saddam Hussein attacked the Iranians. Iran hasn't really attacked any country if you look at their history. And the only attack that they have done was retaliatory. Now, do they have proxy people, proxy agents all over the world? Yes, Hezbollah, the Houthis and so on and so forth. But they haven't really attacked a sovereign nation. But as long as I can remember, since Bibi was able to speak, he's been talking about Iran and how they should get rid of that country. So just think about that for a second. How is this America first? I want to understand that. When you do, please put it in the comments.